What's up, babies? It's the even more fabulous Dr. Mother Love coming to you live and in living color. And in the building with us on today is Mr. Cool TLC, the rap medium. How you doing, the rap media? How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything gravy on my side of I guess the side of the planet, I guess. I don't know.
You forgot what side of the world you were
Yeah, I
on?
forgot. I'm on either side, the west side or the east side. Either
Well, see,
one.
now with us, you on both sides. You on the East Coast, we're on the West Coast, and we just bringing the love together. Okay, so it's a lot of stuff going on with these politicking people getting on my last nerve. Okay, what
Right?
is your take on the new Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson?
Okay. So what's the next subject you're talking about? Okay, let's go ahead and get it on to the next subject. Yeah. Well, I mean it's the same subject as anything. Who is this dude? That's what I want to know. Who is he? Where did he come from? And why do he even exist?
Oh,
Like for
see,
real.
wait a
For
minute.
real.
And I guess maybe he or the Republican Party didn't think that people were going to scrutinize him and look up under every rock he came from, because it did seem like he just materialized in the House of Representatives from like nowhere. No, this is how bad it is. Half the Republicans didn't know who the heck he was.
Yeah, didn't nobody know who it was. It was just like you walked in the room and said, "Hey, you know I'm a Republican, right?" Oh, okay. Well, you can just be the Speaker of the House. We don't know who
Right.
you are. So yeah.
Yeah, why not? You want to be the speaker? We done kicked out the other two. So
Right.
it's kind of like this is what they get for kicking Kevin McCarthy out, and for him caving to them. And see, and I don't think Mike Johnson got that same thing, that anybody could bring it to the floor, that if they didn't like what he was doing, that they would remove him from the seat and take the gavel away from him, simply because he said, well, I want to work across the aisle, and I don't want us to go into another shutting the government down, and I'm willing to work with the Democrats. Oh, AT double hockeys. No, you are not doing that. You getting removed. And how come Matt Gaetz didn't want the gavel?
But y'all already know why Matt Gaetz didn't want the gavel. You already know. You asking me a question that don't even exist. Don't even ask that quick, because you know he ain't want it. He didn't want it. He did not want it at all. He didn't even try for it. He ain't put his hand up. You know what I'm saying? He just
Nothing.
did. He was like, no. He was like, and then McCarthy, for real, when they made him, it was funny, because when they made McCarthy took him down, McCarthy just sat back and was like, ha 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 ha, ah, ha ha ha, you fools, they do not know what they're doing.
Do not know what they're doing. It's like it's worse than throwing everything up against the wall and see what sticks. They don't even have enough food to throw up against the wall. None of it's gonna stick. Wet crackers don't stick on the wallpaper. I'm just letting it just does not happen.
It
And
didn't even
and they
make
have
it to the
chaos.
wall. It
And
didn't make it to the wall. It
but
didn't even make it to the
but
wall.
it
Like
is.
it
See,
didn't even. It stopped in the beginning of the floor. Like no, like we're
no,
not even
no,
going.
we just ain't gonna even hit
We
that
ain't gonna
wall.
make it. We ain't gonna make it.
This ain't gonna happen. Your throw is not that great. You gonna miss the wall. So
Right, right.
and then he
Kindergarten
comes out
throw.
real crazy. Well, this is what we gonna do. We gonna make sure that the filthy rich keep their tax break, the 1%, they keep their tax break forever. But I'm thinking about, let's defund the IRS. How about that? Then we won't have to worry about the really rich people paying taxes in their fair share, because there will be no internal revenue service. Where you think you're gonna get the revenue from? Are
Oh,
you?
they just plan on just like you ain't gotta pay taxes no more. So don't complain when that pothole is in your living room. Don't complain when the pothole is in your living room because you got a sinkhole in the beginning of your driveway.
Right.
Like we don't care because we not fixing it anyway.
And we not
Like
paying. Okay, and since you don't want the internal revenue services, you don't want to pay taxes, then you don't get to fly on an airplane, you don't get to drive on the roads, you don't get to send your kids to school, and you bet not go to the doctor. And if you're over 65 and you thought you was gonna get Medicare, well, we gonna cut that too. Well, that didn't seem to go over well, with the general population. So he's decided, okay, well, how about we do this? how about we just have secret sessions and private behind closed doors so the American people can't see how we getting ready to gut Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and, the SNAP program and the heck with kids, having a free lunch in school. When the pandemic hit, the government, the GOP government stopped, they stopped so they could still keep getting it. But then they told them now, when the pandemic is over and school opened up, where the school's lunch program owed the government $262 million and y'all in debt and we want it.
Yeah, but how you gonna get some money back that you let stay out here? You know what I'm saying? That's what they used to call back in the day Indian giving.
You give it to me now, I want it back.
Right, like how you gonna get it? So you gonna have the kids just make up some lunches and put them back in school?
That's what.
On the parents' dime? Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And it just doesn't. What the decisions that they're trying to make don't make sense for the American people, and we're the ones that have to stand up and tell them we're not going to tolerate this from you guys anymore. This is ridiculous. Like I said, I'm all for helping our fellow man, but if I can't feed my family, I'm certainly not going to take food off of my table to feed somebody else's family, and my family going hungry, my family gonna be homeless, my family can't get to the doctor. Oh, but you want me to send billions of dollars to our allies? You want $61 billion more dollars to go to Ukraine? It ain't big enough to hold $61 billion worth of stuff. You want to send Israel $14 million or however many billions of dollars you want to send them. Israel and the Gaza Strip is even smaller. Oh, but we're supposed to go hungry. We're supposed to. I'm all for that because what they're doing over there is not helping anybody.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to starve so everybody else can eat, and then when they come back around us, if we got a little energy left, you can cook you something to eat.
A little teeny bit. I mean, the people in the refugee camps were starting to turn on each other because people wanted to survive. You can't survive without water, without food, without some place to sleep. These are basic human needs, and they're not living up to this. Which I don't understand these words. The rules of war. That is certain rules of war.
I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was like I can shoot you, but I can't shoot you in your face.
Well, see,
like what? Like okay, right? Okay.
The rules of war say you limit the civilian casualty. Okay, how can you limit civilian casualty when you bombing civilian refugees? How you supposed to? Them bombs don't know. Okay, well these are the refugees. These are Hamas. These are the Russians. These are Ukrainians. I mean, when you really think about it, that it's like fighting your own family. Could you see going to your first cousin house over your uncle them house, and all of a sudden, y'all just get into a big free for all because y'all mad about something that's insane. You want to have the power over this family member.
Okay. Well, let's don't use that example because there's somebody out there right now fighting with their family. Right now, somebody fighting. It's a whole brawl at the house right now. Right now.
And it's awful. An elderly man was in his house minding his own business just the other day. He minding his own business. A guy breaks into his home, beats him unmercifully to the point he's dead. And his son saw what was going on the doorbell ring, and he ran home from his job to find his spot. The man was still in his house. The man was still inside, ransacking his house. This man, 80-something years old. This kid, 25 years old, broke in this man's house. Then he done beat the man. Then he done killed the man. Oh, the neighbors caught his behind coming out the door. He goes.
Oh, yeah.
This is how bad it's getting, where people will break in. I mean, they had a thing out here where the kids was running around punching elderly people, just punching them in the face for no reason, punching women in the face for no reason, because they thought that was funny. Ain't none of this funny. You wouldn't think it was funny if somebody was knocking you in your head for no apparent reason. Then we got all kind of crazy stuff, but we don't want to deal with that. And now,
right? You don't think it's funny when you ain't gonna think it's funny when your parents is the one getting knocked out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna be. You ain't gonna be like, oh no, you ain't gonna. But you just did it to somebody's mother, father, or whatever.
They forget about that.
You just did it. You just did it.
And we know that there's a serious lack of mental health facilities and programs, to help people who are seriously having mental health breakdowns. The guy in Lewiston, Maine, 18 people he slaughtered. 13 people he injured. That's 31 people whose lives are changed forever. And that just counts for the victims. That doesn't count for their families, their kids, their neighborhoods, the people that love them,
Right.
that we're gonna miss them. And then this coward, he goes out somewhere in the bushes and kills himself. Oh, really? Well, why didn't you do that at first? If this was if you was that mentally unstable, why didn't you take a mental health thing? You know you mentally
Yeah.
unstable.
It sounds logical, but we do too logical to be mental. So if we making logic out of it, we never gonna see on their side what's going on because we gonna think everything they doing is ridiculous. And it's
And
hard for us to fathom what they doing.
right. And the guy, that one, and then it was the one up in where was he? Well, he killed a bunch of people, and then he decided to kill himself. Oh no, no. That was the guy that killed all the people up there in Lewiston. Then they had
Right.
an airline pilot on Alaska Air, was in the cockpit, and decided he was gonna snatch the controls from the pilot and take the plane down. Because he took some mushrooms, four mushrooms a few days before that. There must have been some powerful mushrooms the last 4 days in your system, and then you having a mental breakdown. So you decide, oh, I'm so high, I'm gonna get on the airplane, get in the cockpit, and I'm just gonna crash the airplane.
Right.
What?
Right. Yeah, and that's some of it is mental, and some of it they just need their ass whooped. I'm
See,
just saying,
you just
some
say
of it
it.
is mental, but some of it ain't.
And,
Some
and,
of it is just what I'ma hide behind because that's easy to do what I really want to do and hide behind it.
They're like, to me, they're degrading the fact that there are a lot of people that have mental health issues, and a lot of people with mental health issues oftentimes don't want to accept the fact that they do. They don't want to take their meds because their meds make them loopy, and they don't feel like getting up and doing anything, and they go from manic to catharsis, to just like they're in a stupor, and they say, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like myself. And oftentimes, I don't think it's a pill all the time that's going to fix things. You can't cure everything with a pill, potion, and injections and stuff. You got to start working on your mental health. You got to realize what they say. When you know you got a problem, the greatest thing that you could do and realize is that you got a problem. So you got half the problem solved because you realize you got a problem. Then they don't want to go to that next. Well, yeah, I got a problem, but I'm just gonna take shrooms.
Yeah, because it's easier to just say I got a problem. That's it. I ain't gotta have a solution to it. I just gotta keep saying it,
See,
and that's what we keep doing.
and we don't want solutions, and that's what we got to find. That's what we got to work on, is coming up with the solutions, and we need to do it collectively. You just can't say, oh, they're having a mental health breakdown, oh, he could get access to guns, because the guy that shot the people up in Lewiston, Maine, his family said they had went to the police and the mental health facilities to let them know that he was, I don't know if he was on meds, but he needed some mental health counseling, and that he had access to guns. Now, and then that's what the little dude said. The new little dude that's the Speaker of the House. Did I call him a little dude? He looked like
Yeah,
a
you
little.
call him little dude. You
Yeah, he
call
a
him
little
little
dude.
dude.
They gotta probably put an Apple box up for him to be able to see
See
over the
that ain't
21.
you right. That ain't you right. That ain't you right. But we gonna take the little congressman. Go ahead. I got you.
See,
Go ahead. We gonna take a little dude. Little dude. That's what you call him.
that's the
Little
first thing
dude.
I thought.
Yeah, little dude.
Does his people know that he in here
Hey,
pretending to be a representative in the House?
hey, at this point, you got to play like you crazy. I don't know who you talk about. What did you talk about? Are we on the air? Hello, check, check. One,
They
two.
can't
I'm
nobody,
gonna act
they
like
can't hear us.
I ain't even here.
I mean,
What show are we on?
wait a minute. The
Is
dude
this Phil
said,
Donahue?
this is what he said. This is what he said. He said, it's not the guns, it's people's hearts that are hardened to do these evil things. Okay, well, where the heck do you think their heart is in their body if it ain't attached to their brain? What?
Oh,
It's
it
it's
may be all of the above because you know what I'm saying. But once again, we ain't trying to give no help to mental people. It's just easy
no.
to say that person's mental. You know, when you can look at somebody and really tell me they mental, I'm talking about not by their actions. If they was all sitting in a room and being still and not moving, who can you look up and say he had mental? Who was mental?
See, and in that vein, and I believe this. A lot of people, have a lot of anxiety and have mental health issues behind racism, behind sexism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobic people that for whatever ignorant reason why they scared of all these other people, they scared of gay people. I don't want to talk about gay people. We'll just pretend they're not there. We'll just pretend they're not there, and they don't need any rights, and they don't need any health care. They don't understand. No, we only want this for people who look like us and act like us and sound like us. And unless we can get them to do that, they really don't matter to us. Yeah, and that's what
Right,
bothers me. And people keep voting these charlatans and these power hungry people in office will not even do their homework to find out who's representing them. I mean, how in the Sam double hockeys that Lauren Berber, her and the other chick, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Joy,
right,
how did they get in there? And they keep them in there and they know they are terrible simply because the Republicans need those 4 votes. So if they were kicked
right,
out of the House of Representatives, oh, that would mean that the Democrats would be in charge. Or could
right,
they, replace these representatives with some new representatives, but then you'd have to wait until there was another election. So they just
right.
made a mess. It is just
Right.
a
That
way
that
too mess.
they gonna keep on doing because this is the problem. You can't tell what nobody gonna do until they get in there. And it's like we can talk all this good stuff about what people should do until you get in there.
Right,
And then you find out what it's really about. Outside, we can say everything we want to say. Oh, they should do this and they should do that. But we ain't on the inside to
right.
what they trying to do. And when we do get on the inside and find out, oh, this ain't what I thought it was. Right. Right. So you vote these people in, but you can look them up and look their background. That really
And
don't
they
mean
don't.
nothing because they gonna change when they get in there.
And they don't even think about that. People have access to the internet, and people are using it for good. People are using it for bad. People are using it for love. People are using it for hate. It's like and people got it's artificial intelligence. It's not real intelligence. It's programmed by human beings. I don't care what they say about artificial. They still have to program it by human beings. Machines can't run over there, plug in the juice. I mean, I trip over the cord. That's it. The computer is down. And somebody
Right.
got to plug it back up,
Right.
right? Somebody got to plug it back up. I know they want to do all these robotic things and put people out of jobs and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Now, speaking of jobs, what is the minimum wage I think out here in California for fast food workers, it could be across the country, is $20. $20 an hour, which they are absolutely worth every dime because they work them people into the ground. And now they're saying, especially like the fast food restaurants, McDonald's and all of Burger King and all of them, they're saying, well, we got to raise the price of the food because we got to pay these workers, $20 an hour. And you could look at their face like, well, they don't deserve no $20 an hour, but I need this kind of inexpensive labor. So now, and maybe this is just me, you know how the craziness that's going over there in the Middle East, and they're trying to get the Palestinians and the American hostages out, and get the sick and the babies and the elderly people, get them on a humanitarian, get them humanitarian aid and what have you. Now they just had a big meeting of mayors of major cities around the country, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the government is asking the mayors, can you help us out, absorbing these refugees into your community? Now they've been building up Pasadena like you would not believe. I'm like, now why are they building all these? Pasadena's not that big. I mean, big, huge complexes. I said, They building these for the refugees that are gonna come over here and be willing to work for little or no money because they feel like they're in a free country, and then they get over here and they'll make them the next group of indentured servants. You know,
Oh yeah.
and because it's always no, we the bourgeoisie class, and we get to put our foot on your neck, and we get to tell you what to do, because all you all are peons. You're just, that's why I think why peon probably come from the word proletarians, because that's what they look at us, two classes, the bourgeoisie class and the proletarians. And the proletarians do what they're told, because the bourgeoisie class, they have to tell you how to think. Because then if you start thinking and you start using logic, well, then you think you're as smart as they are. Now, I
Yeah,
wonder
but
where
then,
that story came in
but
from.
right, but then look at America. Let's look at
Mhm,
America. Let's look at America.
mhm,
The jobs that these immigrants take, the bougie crowd is
mhm.
the crowd that don't want to work. I'm too good for that. Let them immigrants work on that.
Right.
So we bougie, and we in the United States, we still bougie.
Wait a
It
minute.
don't even matter if you rich or poor. We
Right.
still bougie.
We were in DC visiting family, and our nephew came to pick up, one of our nephews came to pick us up from the airport. And so we're, talking and chatting, back and forth, catching up and what have you. And I said something. He said, "Oh, Auntie, you is bougie." I was like, "What? Nobody in my lifetime has ever used that adjective to
Right,
reference."
right,
I was like, "Me, bougie?" He said, "Oh, yeah." So I asked him. I thought it was hilarious at first. And so then something said, just sit down and ask him, why do you think I'm bougie? He said, "Auntie, I've been knowing you all my life. You the auntie of my uncle. And my whole life, you have always carried yourself like you deserve the best that life has to offer, and you will accept nothing less." And I was like, "And your problem with that is?" He
right.
couldn't, he couldn't give me an answer. He just kind of looked at me and like, "She don't even know she bougie." She
Right. Most people that say they bougie or say somebody bougie is because they don't think so highly of themselves to be able to be in that platform. Because if we was on the same page, you wouldn't be bougie. We would be equal.
see, but see, bougie people they only want other bougie people. But I just thought that was funny that he thought I had a bougie attitude. It's still
Right, right, right.
And you just really never know how people are going to perceive you unless you have a conversation, and or they can see your behavior. That's why I work to be as succinct as I can. What you see is what you get. I cannot. I ain't got to a place. I could never make. Well, I could make it up, but I couldn't keep it up. Because see, when you tell one lie, and you got people believing and saying, "You
Right.
know this," because you already told the story about how you lied to your little cousin, and he didn't find out you was lying to him till he was in a double.
Right, right. So I kept the line going. He ain't never asked me no more. So if he had asked me, I would have told him the same thing. At least I'm gonna keep the line current. I ain't gonna say, like, oh, did I tell you that? No, remember I told you that, because hey, I'm gonna watch what you do with it. Like,
Right.
hey,
And people gotta watch what you're doing with it. Speaking of
yeah,
watching what you do with stuff, the guy, I'm gonna call his name. Well, his name is, I think, Brickman. Anyway, they call him the crypto king. Last year or the year before that, when he started cryptocurrency, and he said the company was just worth $1 billion, and he literally ran. Now it's really something when you done ran a bigger Ponzi scheme than Bernie Madoff. And Bernie
right,
Madoff was taking everybody's money. They said that he had this Ponzi scheme going and had built $10 billion out of investors. What do you
right.
do with $10 billion in a year? And they said he could get 110 year up to 100. He could get 110 years in jail. I don't think they should
Hmm.
put a number on. You go and you think about this $10 billion that you done built people out of, that it gave you their life savings, and you run around here thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm the man now. I'm the man." But see, they get drunk with power. And this
Oh
guy
yeah,
in his 20s. So he got a long time to think about what he did to people. But when he came out the courtroom, he's got these big black thick curly hair, not like an afro, but it looked like he got a perm. And I'm just saying. And he came out the court. Came out the court. He did look like he had not only just a perm, a bad perm. And
Right.
he comes out the courthouse and he's walking in between his attorneys, and they're saying, "Well, he's innocent." Well, why would they think that he built people out of this? And he had a jury trial. They said they debated about 15 minutes, came by. He guilty on all 7 counts. That's it. Is it lunchtime yet? He looked like he could have just spit bricks. And he was trying to hold himself together. I mean, how do you, in good conscience, the pharmaceutical companies do it all the time. Just cheat.
Everybody do it. Everybody do it. If you can get over, that's what they gonna do. It's just like the law of hey, if you fall for it, it ain't my fault. That's how people feel. If I made you fall for it, it ain't my fault. You fell for it. You should have researched. You should have checked it out. You should have learned. But all the people that did lose their money, some of the people was greedy.
Because they thought
so I ain't saying you got the right to. I ain't saying you ain't got the right to. Nobody got the right to do the Ponzi scheme with you, but you already know what you're getting into.
And
because why did you get into it for?
Because they talk real pretty. You just like the 45th kids, his 2 sons, they testified the other day, right? And so the judge already said, all of y'all guilty of falsifying documents to get better loans and better interest rates. So don't even come in here with that. So they asked Junior the other day, they said, so what did you do and how many papers did you sign? I don't know how many papers I signed. I just did what the lawyer said. The lawyer said the property was worth $237 million gajillion dollars. And I just said, is this accurate? And they say, okay, it's accurate. And I just signed my name. You are grown. You mean to tell me you have been helping your father run a multi-billion-dollar empire, but you didn't know anything about what you were signing? You told the same lie your daddy said, well, I depended on the lawyer. The lawyer should have checked that. I'm innocent of everything.
Well,
yeah.
Why you thought the apple was gonna fall far from the tree? You over here believing you trying to do a Ponzi scheme because you believing that he was gonna say that. I'm relying on a lawyer. That's their whole demographic to say somebody else did it. I didn't do it. I'm just following the script of somebody else.
I just told him what I wanted to do. And then when Alan Weisselberg said, now this cat been the chief financial officer for 40 years. And he said, he just told us, okay, these numbers are too low. You go back and you make it work. If that's not giving you instruction to falsify the documents, I don't know how much plainer it could be unless he goes and says outright, okay, I don't like this, go and falsify these documents. But pretty much any 8th grader would know that. Any 8th grader.
That's the problem.
Read a contract. He's supposed to be these are astute businessmen and women, but you didn't read the contract that you affixed your signature to, that now this is your signature, this is you're liable for this document. Oh, I believe what they told me. Okay.
Right.
He said that's what it was. And then they asked him, they said, well, what about when you were deflated? Because they was inflating the cost of stuff and property and deflating it depending on, what they were trying to get. And then the oldest daughter comes in and she got to testify. And then her lawyers are trying to tell her, see, that would be the problem. If we're in this together, why do I need a lawyer? Why am I got to testify against my father? And I'm going to get up here and I'm just going, I didn't know anything about it. Remember Hogan's Heroes and Schultz? Oh, yeah. I know nothing.
Yeah, them days over. Them days over. They don't even play that Schultz no more. It's like you knew something, you seen something, and you about to figure out something. Because you ain't about to get away with this.
And
you knew just like they knew.
Something. And what's so bad about it? They really rat themselves out. They really tell their own business, and people go, and then when they call them on it, they go, Well, I really didn't say that. Can you roll the tape? Can you throw the red flag so he could look at the replay? Let her read this. Read this transcript back to her, what she said. And they're sitting there like bumps on the log, like, I don't know. That's not what I was told to do, or that wasn't my job. I didn't tell me that. I didn't know I had to actually be involved in this. Now, one of them, now the daughter, the older daughter that he got a weird sense with, she said she didn't have anything to do with that, but she was making like the district attorney up there in New York said, okay, yeah, your name is not on here, and you moved to Florida because you didn't want to live in New York and be a New York resident, but that's not going to stop you from having to testify. Now, they said she was involved in acquisitions, and she helped them get the Doral country club, and the sons were helping them with acquisitions and buildings and stuff. And Eric said this. He said, they asked him, well, what did you know about, and what was, this is your signature, isn't it? Yeah, that's my signature. What was this for? He said, no, they just told me this. They just told me to sign it. And I just signed it because it was for my daddy and here to make him happy. And he said, I don't know anything about money or anything. He said, I pour concrete and I build stuff.
Hey, but okay. I'm gonna just say this about America. America don't read contracts. No, they don't. You know why I know they don't? This is the number one reason I know we don't read contracts. Who reads their terms and agreements? They just agree.
They never read terms and agreements.
So that's why I know don't nobody read.
They don't know what force majeure is. They don't know what throughout all perpetuity, whether it's known or unknown. When I first saw that in one of my contracts, and I was like, I don't know what this means. And they were like shoving it to me, just sign it, mother love, just sign it, just sign it. And then they had a line for my government name and a line for my stage name, and I had to put in my social security number, my after number, and all of that. So I got 2 signatures on the contract, and I read it, and I said, I'm not signing this now. I'm gonna take this I'm gonna send this to my attorney, because I do have an attorney. We have attorneys in Cleveland that are licensed to practice out here in California, and that's. It's the family of attorneys, and it's generational attorneys. And so then the 3rd generation of the attorneys, they took the 2nd generations, and they passed the cases down. So he goes, you know what, my love? You gonna make me have to go take the California bar exam, because you doing way too much in here. Not
right.
He passed the California bar exam so he could listen to me and my craziness. So I asked him, I said, okay, now what does this mean, force majeure? And what does this mean throughout all perpetuity, throughout the known universe, whether known or unknown? So they were saying if a new medium is created, because we had video and cassette tapes, and we had VHS tapes, and now those are obsolete. And they said, whether known or unknown, throughout all perpetuity in the universe. And I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. And they go, what do you mean you're not gonna do it? Everybody does it. I said, well, I'm not everybody. I'm somebody. And that's saying you literally are hiring me to be an indentured servant, and I'm going to be up under your tutelage for the next 7 years. Well, you can do that, but it's gonna cost you extra. And they were like, she's serious. I'm like, yeah. I read and then they put all that lawyery talk in it. Wherefore you and I as you, and we are the company. And most people don't look at it, and especially young artists don't look at it. Now these are adults, but they don't read. They don't read their music contracts. When they don't read them, then they don't understand how come they're not getting any royalties, and they wrote the song. Well, you gave all your rights away.
Right.
Did you not learn anything from Ray Charles? Did anybody watch Ray in the music video? Did you not learn anything from Ray Charles? What he say? I'm keeping my masters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody did. Michael Jackson kept his masters. Prince kept his masters. There's a lot of people that did, but you can also sell your masters. Some you can sell some of your masters. There's a lot of stuff in this game that people just don't know. But the thing about contracts is people don't read them. And the prime example has always been when you get these apps on your phone and all that, you don't read them, you agree to them.
Right.
You don't read them. You have no idea what they mean. And they update them and tell you, we updated the new version of the app. You don't go read it. You be like, oh, okay, I'm
Oh, let
cool.
me get the new version. Let me get the new version.
But they ain't gonna read it.
I have an issue with, and people should, and they tell you right up front. Okay, like with the cookies. Okay, just so you know, we want to know where you are. You could block it, or they want to know what your location is. I don't check none of them, or I block all of that. But they'll say when you looking at the fine print and the cookies thing, it says, look, we are collecting your information so that we can give you a better experience on this site, on this app. Okay, well, what if I'm only just browsing on them? You don't need to have all my business like that. What?
Yeah,
And all
I
your
mean,
business is out there anyway.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. It don't, in a sense, it do matter, but in a sense, it don't, because they already got your information.
right. And they could get it from
So,
somebody else. They call it data mining, and
right,
I used to couldn't understand. How did you just came on the internet? And I've been on the internet for like, I don't know, since it started, for the most part, when just average people, could have a personal computer. This is before laptops and what have you. And so I was like, they don't need to know this. And if you get into you want to foster children, or you want to adopt some kids, or you want to run a daycare center, or an adult daycare center, you have to go through an FBI screening. They take your
right.
fingerprints, they take a picture of you, and they say, okay, well, you don't have anything, and they look up all your stuff, and they say, okay, well, no, you're good to go. You're clean. Okay, fine. And I said, so if this doesn't go through, will you delete my information from the FBI file? Okay, that was a stupid question.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that. It sound good, but they ain't about to do that. Like, you just might as well talk that up. Like, for real, like, talk that up. Just
You,
because you ain't getting it. No,
you,
you ain't getting it.
and
All
what,
they gonna
wait,
tell you is, okay, yeah, we'll do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
sure,
no,
sure.
they did just
Yeah.
what you just said, and the look on the lady's face when I asked, I said, well, now, if this doesn't go through, will I stay, we stay in the database? I said, can we have that deleted? She was like, no. She didn't
Yeah,
give me
that's
no
it. Yeah,
explanation. She
that's
just said,
it.
no. That's it.
Right, because
No.
they gotta keep tabs on how many times you got looked up. Because if they look you up, they're gonna keep looking you up. And
Right.
I'm not talking about them, it's other agencies that look you up, so they're gonna keep a tab on how many
Right.
times people looked you up.
Banks and landlords will look you up and when you go out here. I know it's crazy every place. They want one of the biggest reasons why there's such homelessness here in Southern California and in the country, but especially here in California, it's so expensive to live here. You cannot have an apartment, a car note, insurance, kids, any kind of medical condition. Your kids can't have any medical condition
Right.
because you cannot live off of it. It's just so ridiculous. Okay, the average apartment, I'm going to say the average one bedroom apartment out here in California is $2,700.
Oh yeah,
And every time you add a bedroom onto it, it seems like it goes up another $1,000. And then there's still a lot of places, well, not a lot anymore, but there's still places that are rent controlled. And landlords are trying to get people out, by raising their rent when they know they can't afford it. But then you can't afford to move because they're going to run a credit check on you. And if you got a mate, they're going to run a credit check on your mate. Then they're going to run your credit check. And then you could say, well, I just got this one. You give them the application. They go, oh, no, we want to run our own credit check. Okay, but I
yeah.
just got this one the other day.
Now
Why ain't this
you
one good?
making, yeah, now you making my score go down. So I'm not gonna be able to afford nothing because I got all these inquiries on my credit.
Oh, but see, you're not supposed to pay attention to that part. And then they say, well,
Oh
we
yeah,
want,
well.
if they think of you as a risk, they want first month, last month, last month, and a deposit. And a deposit. And if you have
Right.
an animal, you got to pay a deposit on the animal.
But animal too, yeah.
I was like, well, good God, and of course.
I'm having a long talk with my animal. Hey, look here, we've been together for a while. What I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to let you go. I know this is gonna pain you. Don't cry, because I'm gonna have to let you go. I understand. I get it, Bow Wow. I get it, little Bow Wow. I get it, but I'm gonna have to let you go because it's either you or the rent. And,
Right.
and we can't, unless I can make you a dependent, give you a social security number, and then show that you are active part of society. Like,
Oh,
I
oh.
can't, I can't. You're gonna
They
have
have
to.
got they was getting real clever out here and putting their dogs down. That's why I think they started naming their dogs like people. Like you don't name them
Right,
Clyde or
right.
Bow Wow. You name them Otis or Gerald. One of these little kids, they were lived in our neighborhood, and we grew up with their mother and father. And the father was in the Navy, and he was moving on. He was getting shipped out here to San Diego from Cleveland. And me and the kids and their family, we was really, really close. And they were like, "Well, can't you just go with us? Can't you just go with us? I don't know if we could be without you." I'm like, "Baby, I can't. It doesn't work like that." So the parents said, "Well, what we'll do, we'll get you a puppy and you can name the puppy." And they got him a puppy and they named the dog after me. I didn't know whether to be pissed or feel honored. You call
Yeah,
him Blake.
yeah, I don't understand it. But I mean, you give the dog a name, and I mean that's okay. Justify, I love my pet and everything. You get the dog got a credit card and everything, but the one thing the dog ain't got is a social security number where I can claim him on my taxes. I can claim the dog food I spend, but I can't claim him as a
Listen,
dependent.
listen. I know some people. They gave their dogs people names, gave them their last name, like these were their children, right? And they had like 2 or 3 dogs, and the husband actually got them social security numbers and claimed them as dependents.
Said so. What
And
happened? What had happened was
what had happened was,
right. Was it a what happened was? Because
I was
you
like,
know
"You did what?" And then it was bragging about it. It was like, "Oh yeah, girl, we've been claiming them since they was baby puppies. You know, and that one is 2 years old. That one I think is about 2.5 years old." I'm like, that's not legal, is it?
so
It
you
can't
so
be
what
legal.
so right. So when you dog listen, this is my whole thing. When your dog die and your dog say your dog died at 14 years old. You know that's 100 and something years old as a real person.
See, how does
Like
it? I don't understand how they measure dog years, and they say one dog
seven,
lived 7 years.
seven, yeah, seven
I
years. So
don't
you
get that.
take
I mean,
seven
if the dog
times,
is wait a minute, if the dog is born, say the dog is born on your birthday. And
right?
every year you have a birthday that's dog born, y'all had the same birthday. How in the heck can you compute 14 years of a dog's life is over 100 years of a human person's life? Y'all are still breathing the same air. It ain't like they breathing their own separate dog air. Or maybe
Right, but they don't. But they only live to maybe 14, 15, maybe 9, maybe 17,
maybe,
18.
and that's a stretch. That's an
Yeah,
old
but
dog.
but I'm just saying. And how you explain that on your taxes?
I,
My
it was
dog is 100.
it
My
was
the
it
person
was
that
so
died is
far
100.
fetched. It was so far fetched. And then they ask you, when was the child born? They put the child's name. Is it a male or female? They don't say if it's a male child or a female child. They say a male or female. They check whether they are male or female. And they got
Right.
away with that for a while.
Yeah, let me find out who they is because that is crazy. Because if your dog died at 14 years old, which is human years,
Right.
how do you explain that?
See,
They only lived till they was 14.
well, and unfortunately, it's a sad thing. Children die.
Oh,
Children
I mean,
die.
I do. Yeah, I
But
do. But
still,
we
I
ain't
was
talking
like,
about
and I
kids.
asked them, I said, "Well, what happened if the dog died?" And they were like, "Oh, well, we didn't think that far ahead." I was like,
That's what I'm saying. You still gonna have to come up with something to say. Well, oh, you just go get another dog, and their name just gonna be the same as the dog that you
"Okay,
just
no, you got
claimed.
to change their name. You got to change them around." So if the dog's
No,
name is
how?
like Sienna, and then say the dog's name is Sienna Elaine, and the dog died, Sienna Elaine died. You get another dog. The next dog's name is Elaine Sienna. But
No, but why would you wouldn't even have to change the name? You just get another dog. You just leave his name just like it is, and get
okay,
another dog just like that dog.
but see, this is why people get flagged by the IRS, and I
Hey,
know it,
I
and I
didn't
know
make
how
it
nerve
up.
wracking that can be. When we got
Right.
audited the first time, we've been audited a couple of times. The first time we got audited, they were like, "Okay, how you go from making this much money as a school bus driver, and now you making 6 figures?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. Why can't that be the case?" And they're like, "Well, we want to see this. We want to see what you're claiming on." And it used to be that entertainers we could write off everything: wigs, hair,
Right,
makeup,
right, yeah,
wardrobe,
everything.
miles going to the back and forth to the to auditions and what have you. My husband had me with a one of them little ledger books, and I had to, when I went on an audition, I had to put the date, then I got to put, you know, where I'm coming from, check the mileage, my start mileage, and check the mileage when I get back and park the car back in the house. And I mean, and I kept saying, this is so anal retentive. Oh my God. I mean, he probably got receipts from like 1989, 1990. You only got to keep your taxes for what, 7 or 10 years. He could go back.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had written off an evening gown that I wore to an Oscar after party, and it was a designer gown. It was an Oscar de la Renta, and I looked like $100 million. I walked into the room, and they knew a star came in, and so that was the only place I was going to ever be able to wear it. So I wrote it off because it was a work dress. He
Right,
said, I
right.
want to see a $10,000 work dress, and I want to see receipts for this, that, and I want to see the mileage in this. I mean, it was like, I don't know how many pages that we had to come back and present to him. We got all the
Yeah.
stuff together, and I'm walking into the audit the first time like the cowardly lion, walking down the hallway in the Wizard of Oz, and I'm just shaking like, oh God, what if I? He said, baby, don't worry, I got this. Don't. Now my husband is an accountant, and he will, I mean, down to the penny, he is an accountant.
Right,
And I'm
right,
like,
right.
okay. And I was like really, really, really nervous. And he kept saying, why are you so nervous? I'm like, because it's the IRS. We don't get audited. We black people don't make enough money to get audited. He said, well, your black behind made enough money to get audited. And it was
Right, right.
a big jump. So this, and they said, the people in the IRS said, he was like he treated the IRS like it was his personal domain, and he was down to every last little penny, and he was waiting for us to come back. And I really think he was pissed off the first time because the way my husband we have a yearly file for every month. You know, this file goes into January all the way up to December, and then
Right.
when it's tax time, then most of it is separated because he got a system down now, so it's not as hectic. And so he said, don't worry, I got receipts for everything. And I was like, well, take them this. He said, no, you don't give them more information than they ask for.
Right. Just give them what they asked
I
for.
give it to
Yeah.
them. So we got the stuff, and we're coming back, and he had the IRS guy had made the appointment. And see, this is how the universe will open up and conspire for your success. Okay, we're expecting the guy to come out and call us. A lady came out and called us. And we went back to her desk, and she looked up, and she knew who I was, my government name, my business name, my other business name. So, and she was a fan. And she said, well, let me see, what it is that you needed to bring back. We brought all the stuff in, and she was saying, this is really something. Can I call you Mother Love? I said, sure, baby. Everybody call me Mother Love. And she said, Mother Love, the guy that audited you all, he has never missed a day of work, and he had been there for 14 years.
Okay.
He was absent that day.
Wow.
She said he was.
Wow.
She said, and she said, see, this is divine intervention. I'm supposed to help you. We went there. She did everything by the book. Because when we left his office, he said, if you can't prove all of this, you're going to owe the IRS something like $20,000 or something crazy like that. And she said, she went through everything. My dress got written off. All of my makeup got written off. She said, okay, well, you still have a small amount that you have to pay. And I'm sitting there going, because she just going with the calculator. I'm like,
oh, yeah, they go. They do it, for real.
Kennedy, he just is calm, and he ain't flinch, he ain't break a sweat, nothing. And so she said, well, you will owe the IRS. And I don't think it was $300. I said, well, can I just give it to you in cash? She said, no, you can't.
Nope, you got it. Yeah, you can't pay her off. Yeah, you can't.
She said, no,
she
you
was
have
like,
to
I don't take the
Internal
money.
Revenue Service. I said, I'll write the check to the Internal Revenue Service. And this is what was even extra cool. We will before we got up to walk out, she said, I would like to give you something. And I'm like, you done already gave me, you done got me off the roof, chick. There's nothing you can give me that's going to be better than this. She gave my husband and I 2 VIP tickets to they had this big event with all the soul singers, like the Whispers was there, and the
Oh, okay.
Dells were there, the Delphonics. I mean, it was all in our era. So when the people went in the bathroom making babies to the music, it was so good.
Right,
Then we
right.
got backstage passes. We got, we got to meet a lot of the people, a lot of the artists and everything. So I had to send her a really beautiful thank you note, and she told everybody, "Mother Love gave me this. She'll never tell me what I gave it to her for."
Right. She ain't gonna tell you that part. Yeah, they ain't gonna tell you
And I
that
thought
part.
that was so cool. People always dog out the IRS and have to be scared. But when you keep your paperwork straight, this goes back to people not reading their contracts. When you keep your paperwork straight, there's nothing for you to be worried about. And
Yeah.
certainly not, go through a whole hissy fit, because you're the one that's keeping the books. They're going by what you say. And then I found out it was uh, the IRS gives you more money per mile when you keep the records for your mileage than you do saving the gas receipts. So you can either keep the write the gas receipts off, or you could write the mileage off. I'm like, well, why can't I got both of them? They both in the car. I got
Yeah, they be like,
gas.
nope. They be like, nah, you ain't gonna do both of them now.
Right.
We gonna give you one or the other
Now,
now.
pick one. Pick whichever one you want. And I said, well, which one will get the most money back from? She went to the calculator again, and she said, well, you'll get a bigger return if you go by the miles. And I was like, okay. And I was still kind of, well, why can't we use the? She said, the IRS doesn't work like that. I know people. And I said, is this crazy talk? She said, you don't even know the crazy talk that we get.
Right.
One
Right.
guy was and Kennedy had his, had his briefcase and everything. And, one guy was sitting in the lobby. He had like four shopping bags full of receipts, stuff just spilling all out. I mean, he had no order for
Right.
anything. And then
Wow.
I was like, so all of your angel retentiveness paid off for us. And
Right.
it was really cool. It wasn't a bad experience at all. And so the second time we got audited, it went really, really smooth, because we knew he knew better what we were doing. And so I was like, okay, cool. Then my accountant lady said, that our tax lady, she had told me one year, she said, now you can't be making all this money and don't do nothing with it. I'm like, what you mean? She said, you need to buy a house, buy some property, get your
Right.
own building
Right.
or something. And I was like, oh shoot. Okay. So I went and bought a house. Well, we had a house built. And I said, okay, well, that's what they do. Then I found out how you can write off a whole lot of stuff. Okay, you
Oh
don't
yeah.
write off your hair, makeup, and wardrobe anymore. Uh, but you could do something on your profit and loss page, but people don't read the fine print. They don't turn in the paperwork in a timely fashion. They think, oh, I turn it in. Like, people who file their taxes mail them on tax day, like 5 minutes before midnight.
Right. Before, yeah. And then you go to these places that's gonna file it for you, but you just all you want is the money back. You
Right.
don't know what they file and how they file. They tell you give you all the tax, information that they need,
Mhm.
but why is you rushing? Why is you rushing and you know you got about 15 minutes before it's too late? Why is you rushing to get this in? You should have did this way before
A
then.
long time ago. The main post office is out here every year. I kid you not, every year it is a line from 11:30. People are literally jumping out of their cars, putting their taxes in the postal bin, jumping back in their cars. I'm like, this is insane. It's like,
Right.
I can't believe it's November already. I can't believe it's November already. It's November already. Well, don't that come after October? Every
Right, and then they bad because they ain't. Well, what's going on? Why is it holding up so late? Don't you know you turned them in late? It's 1,000 people before you. Like, for real, for real. So you want your money back that fast? Oh, okay,
year.
all right. Good
Speaking
luck
of
on
money
that.
back, I haven't been on I won't say I haven't been on like the big massive dating scheme, been in a dating pool, because my husband and we date in the Costco. And so I was talking to some of these young girls, and they were saying, you know, uh, I said, well, how is the dating thing? And some kind of way we got around to talking about where is a place you dating a guy for the first time. Where's the worst place that he could take you on the first date? Where's the worst place that you say, I'm not going there on no first date? Where do you think women say they don't want to go on the first date? I was
I
surprised.
don't know. I have no clue. I
They
ain't gonna even guess.
they had the Cheesecake Factory, Chili's, uh, uh, IHOP, Denny's. You don't take him to a sporting event. You don't go on no long drive with him, and you don't know where he's going, and it's your first date. Don't take him to a funeral, dude. I had a
Well, yeah, you really don't take no date. I mean, for real, that's just common sense. Why
what?
would I take a girl for the first date to my auntie's funeral?
What? See,
Why? Why? Tell me why.
this was this guy's excuse. He said, "Cause I could kill two birds with one stone." I said, "What two birds you trying to kill?" He said, "Well, see, I ain't telling her we going to my auntie's funeral, but I know we could get there. She gonna meet a lot of my family members, and we'll get a free meal, so I don't have to take her to dinner."
Right. So that's
I was
death of
like,
your auntie and death of your relationship. You done
"What?
killed both of them.
What?" You and the stupid part was she went. Okay, she went, and she
Oh,
said she honestly had a nice time, but she wasn't going nowhere else with him. Like never in life, never. She said, "I will never go on the first date to a funeral. I don't even want to go to my funeral. Why would I want to go to somebody else's funeral? Because I'm gonna
right.
get
I
free
mean,
food
that's
every
yeah. I think that's just I think that's really, and I'm gonna have to say the word retarded to take somebody to a funeral.
day."
And we trying to make a relationship and you trying to kill it at the same
Like
time.
I said,
No, it's not gonna work.
it's
It's
not
not
gonna
gonna
work.
work.
It
I'm
is.
not even going. If she'd be like, hey, I'm going first, we gonna drive by my auntie funeral. I say, hey, let me out right here.
uh,
She like, what you mean? Let me out. Is this the bus line? Yeah, let me
yeah.
out right
Bring
here.
me to the bus
Cause I'm
stop.
going to the house. I'm going back to the house. Matter of fact, just take me to the house. I left my
Something.
I left my date at the house. Like what? Yeah, my
I left
date is
my
at the
date
house.
ring.
Yeah, my date is at the house. I am your date. No, the one I ain't gonna date no more is at the house. That's what I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. You not. I'm not going. Yeah, I just a funeral. No, that's like saying. That's like that's like saying, hey, we about to go out and have a picnic in the cemetery.
Hey, wait. They do that out here in
No, I
California.
know, but if that's your first date, yeah, well,
Oh,
who out there? My
that's even
auntie.
worse.
Yeah,
That's
my
even
aunt.
worse because you know they did. And y'all
Right,
got a
my
canopy
auntie.
up over the grave site. They have the boom boxes out there. I mean, it's a celebration. I mean, I love festive people. I mean, they would make a picnic on the tree lawn. Right?
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, maybe I'm saying things. Is that really a canopy over a gravesite? And then a lot of people start coming up, and they got presents and stuff, and they open them up on their birthday. These people are dead there in the ground. That you could have done something else with that money in that time, but you can't tell people what to do and how they're gonna love somebody. But
Nah, they gonna do They did weddings at cemeteries. I done
yes,
seen weddings at
I've
cemeteries.
seen what
So
that's so macabre. That was just too much. But I want to know what's wrong with don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, they got 17,000 things on the menu to choose from.
I think it really depends on the person, and then you got to really look at the person.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you as a woman or a man? I'm gonna just say woman or man. What are you really looking for? Because if you don't want, okay, I don't want to. I'm just using this for example. I don't want a Chevy. I want a Mercedes Benz.
Right.
So why would I settle for a Chevy? That ain't what I want.
And if you
If if it comes, then I have to if that's my only alternative. But I'm going for the Mercedes Benz.
right, why would you go for a Pacer when you can have a Mercedes Benz?
Right. I'm not going. I get it, but that depends on the individual. It's
Right, yeah.
nothing wrong with it, but the person that you dating, they may think it's wrong because they ain't trying to live that life. No matter what they bring into the table, they ain't trying to live that life.
No.
And it's like, okay, well, bye. I ain't got it. I ain't. But it's too many fellas out here perping the big deal. You taking these girls to these expensive ass restaurants
Right.
and you can't afford it, and you going back home and your lights and your cable about to be cut off
Because you trying
at
to
the same
impress
time.
somebody.
At the same time. At the
I could
same
never
time.
understand that. I just couldn't understand it. You know, and to this day, I don't. And I understand now. When we were dating, we did date for a long time, and you know, and I'm a big believer in this. If I call you up and say, "Hey, TLC, come on, join me for lunch," I'm expecting to pay for the lunch because I've invited you. If you call me up and say, "Hey, mother love, come on, I'm gonna take you to lunch," I would expect you to pay for the lunch. Or if we say, "Let's just get a bite to eat and we share it together." Do you think that the guy should always pay for the meal?
No, I just think if y'all a real couple, if you a real couple, I'm talking about a real couple,
Mhm.
it ain't even a discussion about who was who. It's
Right.
like if I pull the money out, then I pay. And if you be like, no, I got it this time, I'll be like, oh, okay.
See, I ain't doing that. I got a sponsor. I got sons and grandsons. I wish I would look up and pay for something with, you know, and I'm sitting there with
But
men.
but
Uh-uh.
but right, but even though you expect it, it's always. But this is where women, I think, sometimes get it messed up. Yeah, we might want to pay for everything, but it's a nice gesture to know that somebody sometimes can have our back. And if you always gimme, yeah, it's good. I might sacrifice it, but in my back of my mind, as a man, I'll be like, damn, it'd be nice if somebody did it. And then you be mad when another chick do the opposite of what you doing, and you wonder why he left.
And this was,
Because
yeah, I've seen this happen to men. You know, on a first date, he takes her to a nice restaurant. She want to order everything on the menu, but thank you, call again. Oh,
oh
lobster! I ain't never had lobster. Well, you don't need to have it now.
yeah, oh, but that's like being at a bar and the girl drinking. You watching what she drinking. She ain't drinking top shelf. Soon as you come over there, now she want top shelf. But you wasn't drinking top
You
shelf
was
because
drinking
I asked the
beer.
bartender
You
what
was,
you was drinking.
you was drinking beer. Now you gonna go from beer to 12-year-old scotch?
Yeah, okay.
Really?
Well,
Give
right.
her another
Hey,
beer
take this drink and hey, have a nice day.
and have
You
a
know,
nice
I'ma just chalk it up.
and enjoy yourself.
Right, enjoy yourself. Because but then you gotta know which direction you going in.
Right,
You
right.
know, if you can't afford no Mercedes Benz, don't buy no Mercedes
Don't
Benz.
don't be sleeping in your Benz or any
Yeah,
kind of car. You know, if you can't afford the car, you know, don't buy it. And
yeah, and
even
it's just like a date. If you see a girl, and I'm not saying that you can't get game and y'all can't shoot game on anybody. I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
But if you can't afford what they look like,
And
you can't afford it.
you could tell when she high maintenance. You could
Yeah,
tell.
yeah, yeah, you could tell. And
You
it ain't about her faking it. It's
mm-mm.
like every time you go out, she got on some high maintenance stuff.
Right. She got on
Bruh.
designer shoes. She
Yeah.
got a bag on her shoulder. Her hair
Yeah,
is
bruh.
clipped. Her
Nah.
makeup is fierce. Her nails are done. You know, and she looking like $1,000,000. And then you hear this. So where we going? Oh Lord Jesus! It's a good thing you look good. You know.
And then you go. But look, I just seen it 1,000 times. If you go to dinner and you almost on E and you got to drive her home and you go home and you got to go home on E because you ain't got the money. You ain't got enough money to put no gas in your car.
And my thing was, if that jumped off, I see, and you got to have a certain amount of standards, a certain line that you're not going to cross. If the car run out of gas, if it break down, I keep cab money in my shoe. So I'm not pushing. I'm gonna get out. I'll walk back down the ramp and get on the phone before we had cell phone. I know where the pay phones are. Somebody come and get me. I'm not pushing. I'm not doing any of that. To this day, I don't mop. I rarely sweep. I mean, I wipe up a spot or something, but I don't mop, I don't vacuum, I don't sweep, I don't take out trash. I make trash. That's what I do. I'm fascinated with that. I can make a bag of trash every day because I cook every day for the most part.
Right.
I cook 2 meals a day. And so there are certain things that I don't have to do because I know my husband is going to do them. Certain things he don't have to do because he knows I'm going to take care of it. You know, he'll never have to come in here and, be worrying about, well, what we going to eat? Because he'll eat. I can make him a fried bologna sandwich and put the splits in it and put some mustard on one side of the bread
Right.
and some
But that's
mayonnaise on
being
the other side,
established.
a piece of
Yeah.
lettuce. And he's a happy camper.
That's
You know?
already established.
Right.
But see, the problem is there is no establishment when you first dating. because y'all don't know each other.
Right.
You can't. So if you go somewhere, go some. But to see, the first thing is everybody's go to is always to go eat. Always to go eat.
Right.
9 out of 10 times it's gonna be let's go eat. Why? Can we find something else to do other than going to eat?
And that was another thing that they were talking about. Don't take her to a sporting event on the first day. Well, if you got Laker tickets, I'm going on the first day.
Right. If she a Laker fan, why would she want to go? If she a Laker fan, why would she want to go?
That's what I'm talking about. And then you want to know, what they're like and how they act, what their temperament is like when they're around other people. And I found out that what my husband found out when we were in college, I had my eye on him. Like first day I laid eyes on him, I said, oh yeah, that's my husband. That's the father of my children. And his classmates said, no, leave him alone. Don't do that. He's really sweet. I went to college with him. He's just a nice, sweet. Oh, he's just a lovely young man. I went, she said his name. I went, gave her my best nightly whiplash chin rub. And I said, that'll be a good name for me. And it was on a cracker because I knew what I wanted. And he knew the kind of woman that he wanted. And he had said, when I get married, you want a ring on your finger? I want a wife. You ain't got to go to, no, he didn't say you ain't got to go to work. I said, well, I have my own job. You don't have to take care of me.
Right.
We'll take care of each other, but we're not going to lack for anything because we will always work as a team. And we sat down for weeks and talked about, what we wanted, where we could see ourselves going in 5 years. What if this didn't work? What would you do? Would you still be friends? And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Most of my
That's the real
ex-boyfriends,
question.
we stayed friends.
That's the number one question. That's the number one question right there. Because if you ain't friends going in, you ain't friends going out.
It is never going to happen. And I have said to him well, he knows how I feel about this. I said, if something happened and our marriage dissolved, or I had to choose between being your wife and being your dear friend, I would stop being your wife and continue to be your dear friend. Because we can always have a booty call. We ain't got to be married. And he just looked at me and shook his head and said,
right. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. BT calls. That is the problem because people confuse them with, well, we ain't really going together. And then, but you can't tell the world that, stop having the friends with benefits. Because it never works out well. It don't work out well.
We were friends with benefits. We would have still been friends with benefits if it had been left up to me. I never thought I was going to get married. He was like, this was my marriage proposal. I think I'm going to take you off the street. I'm like, what street am I on? What you mean?
That's it. He had a decision to make. He had a decision to make. Like, okay, if it's this, I'm taking it off the street. I'm taking it off the market.
That's it.
But if you just on the market and y'all just booty call, eventually
it's different.
Something's gonna happen.
Well, kind of, sort of, but I didn't think that I needed to have a piece of paper to say that I was going to be with him for the rest of my life until death parted us. I didn't need that. And he wanted to have the big wedding and the June bride and all his friends and the wedding. I was like, okay. And I had to listen to my girlfriend. Well, why I ain't in your wedding? Because I don't like you like that. Well, I thought we was cool. You are cool, but I got way cooler friends than you. And they're like, she just a cold-blooded, you know what? Why? What, you want me to stay here and lie to you? And ain't nothing worse than having people in your wedding that you don't like. Well, I got to put up with that. This supposed to be my day. So
you don't.
Well, it was our day. We had a wedding day.
And he wanted to, y'all was
happy. Do that, but I would say, I'm still despondent about don't take a girl to the Cheesecake Factory on the first day. Well, I wouldn't take a girl there anyway on the first date.
But it don't. It just where you go is what you ask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't ask before all of this stuff go down, you ain't gonna know. And most guys. For real. Most guys, when a girl be like, okay, you about to take me out, where we about to go? Oh, I thought we just go get something to eat. Grab some wings and get something to drink, you know what I'm saying? And like, okay. If she gonna go for it, go for it.
Go for it.
But if her standards ain't that, then don't be mad at her. Oh, you just a gold digger. You trying to no, that's where her standards at. Just cause yours ain't don't mean
Right.
that she gotta stay at your standard.
And you should not be unequally yoked to your partner. You know, if you're high maintenance, he doesn't need to be high maintenance. If he's high maintenance, well, be too high maintenance. For me, I'm the high maintenance one. Because, you know, I think in a relationship, there's a crazy person and the person that takes care of the crazy person. And he's the person that takes care of the crazy person, me. And so, and I know I'm high maintenance. My son used to say, Mama, why do you iron you on my dad's t-shirts? I'm like, because it's wrinkled. But Mom, it's a t-shirt. Okay, he irons all his clothes now. He irons his clothes. I used to iron my husband's socks and t-shirts, you know, his undershirts, because I want him to look pretty in the drawer. You know, when he opened them up, you know, and he told me stop
Okay.
putting lavender cachets in his drawer because his
Yeah, because
underwear.
nobody needs to smell like lavender.
He
Like
said,
no man needs to smell like lavender. I don't care what nobody say. Bad humbug to the whole world that want to smell like lavender. Because I don't need a grown man smelling like lavender. And we working on the job, and I'm like, hey man, you know you
what's
smell
that
pretty good,
fragrance?
bro.
They don't even say,
Yeah,
what's
bro.
that smell? They go, what's that fragrance? And he was like,
Right.
don't, he said, don't put that, this don't ever happen to my
Yeah.
husband again. Just, I could take the smell of cedar wood. And but his underwear did smell lovely. He was like,
Nah,
yeah.
man, I ain't got time to go to like say I work at the auto parts place and I show up and they be like, hey man, who you and your girl was kissing or rubbing or something this morning? What you mean, man? Like you smell like lavender, bruh. Oh nah, man, that's just oil right here, man. This ain't me. This is oil, bruh. This ain't me. I don't want to smell like lavender. That's like a man smelling like pear. Like I'm not
You
smelling
smell
like a
pear.
pear or cinnamon.
Wait,
Like, no, bruh, you shouldn't be smelling like none of them. You smell like old watermelon. That's what you should smell like. Old watermelon. Like, no, bruh, you should not smell like
see, these
lavender.
are
And
some
then,
of the finer things in life for me. And this is another thing. I'm just so glad it's finally come to fruition that they are the people like the Dove Company, Unilever. They have created a men's skincare line. Could not understand why men would say, "I don't want to put all that girly stuff on me." I'm like, it's moisturizer. Your skin is rough. You need some conditioner for your hair. You need to put some lotion on your assy behind. Well, that smell like a girl. We'll get the kind that's not that doesn't smell. He used to tell me I could smell the perfume in the deodorant.
yeah. Sometimes that little deodorant can be a little too much. You
I,
know, you just want to smell manly. Like when I go get cologne, I want a manly cologne. I don't want a light cologne. I want a manly cologne. But some men want to just depending on what you do. If I'm going to a sporting event or something like that, I want to smell sport. Yeah, I'm gonna smell sporty. You know, like a light sport. You know, but it's a man sport. It's
man.
not a. It's not one of them perfumes where I smell like bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm a grown man. I do not need to smell like Bubblicious. I do not need for nobody to call me pumpkin. I don't need. I'm just saying, people. Don't get mad at me because my standards is a little bit different. I want to be, if just like
Manly
a
man.
woman,
You want to
like
smell
where,
like manly man. See,
yeah.
and all perfumes don't go with all body
Oh my
chemistry.
God, they don't. They don't. Please tell the choir in the back row.
That smell is not working for you. It is not working. It's not working with your body chemistry. And I
Woo.
love Elizabeth Taylor. I loved her and I will love her always. And so when she came out with her first fragrance, I want to say it was White Diamonds. Oh,
Oh,
so I had to,
yeah.
I
I
had to,
want to karate chop you if
girl,
you wear white. If
I
you
had
wear
to
white.
get some White Diamonds. And let me
Woo.
tell you, I spray it everywhere. And they give you the little samples, in the department store. And when I put it on, I said, "Oh, I kind of like this." But I bought the bottle, and I didn't let the perfume wear with my chemistry. And by the time I got back to the car, I smelled like I couldn't even tell you what I smelled like.
Like mothballs,
And
like mothballs in this
wait a
joint.
minute. It was really bad. And what was so bad about it, it had some kind of whatever the scent that they put in one of the scents or whatever. I was allergic to it. Every place that perfume landed, you could see it on my
To
face. I was
bubbling.
spotted up, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I had to go home, take a shower, put some stuff on it to dry them out. And that bottle of White Diamond sat on my dresser chair. I know one of my sisters took it, but I don't smoke it.
Right. And I'm not hating no White Diamond. Let me know so nobody gets to thinking that. I'm not, but when you wear White Diamond and you don't know your pH balance, it's gonna be white zirconia. It's not gonna be white diamonds no more. It's gonna turn into crystals, white crystals. You wearing white crystals? Because you're not wearing white diamonds no
It
more.
doesn't work. And I was just so disappointed. And actually, it's only been two fragrances that have not worked with my chemistry, and that was Elizabeth Taylor's White Diamonds and Oscar de la Renta when he came out with his fragrance. And I loved him. I love the smell, and I love the way it smelled on other people, but it smelled like old shoes on me.
Yeah, you don't. You gotta know what you gotta know. You gotta know when to spray them and when not to spray them. Like,
How much
don't
to
spray it
spray?
on your body. Spray it on your clothes because
No.
it ain't gonna stay the same on your body. And then as soon as you sweat, please, people,
Oh,
we
oh,
need to have a
oh.
101
Mm-mm,
about
mm-mm.
body chemistry and colognes.
Oh
When
my.
you sweat with cologne on your clothes, it's going to still mix with your sweat
Sweat.
DNA, and
And it's
your sweat DNA is salt. So salt and
and
perfume and
perfume don't go.
don't go together. They
See,
do. Mm-mm.
these are
We
lessons that you need to know. These are
no.
things that you didn't know that you need to know. Come on, Dr. Mother Love, Mr. Cool TLC.
Yeah,
Sometimes you
yeah.
just can't fake the funk and you can't fake the perfume. So we're gonna leave it on that note. You all have a blessed day. Make sure you follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at the Mother Love Show, at Cool TLC, because we are loving you. And ain't nothing you could do about us loving you. And remember this. No matter how big or small, short or tall, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some other love now and then, baby. Come on, baby. Take what you need.
Okay.
I love you.
I got one. I
You
got
got one?
one.
Okay.
I got one. Either you big, small, rocking, or you steady. It's always some room in your life to be petty. Who said that? Mr. Petty himself. Always ready and steady to be able to be petty.
We're gonna get you in a therapy session. That's what
Why
you
I
need.
need therapy?
You
Why do I
need
need therapy?
therapy. We all need
Why?
therapy. Well, because you need therapy.
I
I'm,
just need
I'm
to
gonna
spray
I'm gonna
cologne
call
on
you
me.
a psychiatrist right now. Love, peace, and hair grease, people. Call it. That's
I'm
it.
I'm getting my cologne on.